take you guys through how to identify if there's product that is attached, right? And so in this first scenario, we're going to say the customer already has product attached, or they have their product sample in hand, you guys just got to add it to the quote, right? So there's a couple of different ways the customer can do this. Today they have their .com account where they can upload favorite products. And if they pick a favorite product and you guys go out to do a measure and that favorite product is tied to the project, that favorite product will automatically populate into the measure, right? Especially for carpet, you guys are just literally pulling it up saying this is what you want, validating the color and type, because you'll see all of that, and then send in the quote, essentially, for carpet. Super, super easy. But I'll take you through both scenarios, with it and without it, and what to look for, how to know to easily identify what next steps are, okay? So from here, this is where you guys are gonna log into projects. You guys are there, we'll get you there. It's always gonna be your contractor ID and then your new password. The password is 15 or more characters, special limits, all of that good stuff, but it does last for a year. I will tell you that you can't use the same password or anything similar to it for at least 5 years. So you'll have 5 passwords before you can come back to that same one. Does that make sense? Because usually you can just flip flop, you can't this time. And then the way we're gonna search for a customer, as soon as you guys get done, you're gonna land on this middle page and it's always gonna populate with customer phone number. The way we're gonna be looking things up, and I'll show you why when we get in there, is gonna always be job ID. The job ID is gonna be the same thing as the IMS job ID. It's gonna be the same thing as your vendor gateway job ID. It's gonna be all of that. So if the guys are ever like, where do I find it? It's just gonna be that main job ID.
Yeah, because the phone number can pull up.
The phone number is going to pull up all of their existing projects.
Right.
So if they have 15 projects over the last 5 years, you're trying to get through what project you need to be in. The job ID will take you right to that project. So it's the easiest way to find it, saving you guys time and clicks and frustration. But we're always going to do job ID. So from there, once you click on the job ID, you'll enter it in the search bar, you'll click enter, and then it'll bring you guys, once you click in the blue hyperlink, it'll take you right into here. Okay, so this is the customer's project. So there's a lot of stuff happening in here. The big things for you guys, you're only gonna be in 2 different areas. You're gonna be in quotes, and you're gonna be in project summary. You may land in favorite products, depending if they have more than one selected, and you gotta pick the right one, right? But for the most part, you guys are gonna live in quotes and project summary. The rest is for IST and central selling, essentially, okay? So to find the quotes, so at this point, you guys have already met with the customer. You've completed the measure, you've verified that they have product attached to their job, you've checked in the measure, and you've submitted the measure, okay? Most people get stuck at the check-in. If you don't check it in, it's not gonna flow over here. The whole entire process has to be complete. Once you guys do that, you're gonna pull this up and it's gonna automatically pull in the measure that you did. So it's gonna be really, really important as you stress the need and the urgency around doing this with your crews, is to make sure they're answering every single question in the measure, because if they do that, they won't have to make any edits. If they skip over some stuff, if I'm not saying anybody's doing it today, but some people just kind of skip over certain steps, don't do that anymore, because it's going to add in all of your labor is automated based off the questions they're answering. So if you miss it, you're going to have to go back and add it again anyway. So just make sure you spend the time to get through that. So what you guys would do to get into the quote is you'll click on that little quotes tab over there to the left-hand side, and then it's going to pull up what this looks like. Okay. So these statuses, you're gonna have a couple different ones. You're gonna have need review, you're gonna have open, you're gonna have invoice, and you're gonna have sold. Okay? Needs review means a measure's been done, but nobody's quoted the job. Okay? Open means it's been completed, and you change it to open. Invoice is obviously invoiced, right? So most of the time, if it's been shared, it'll stay in open. If it's been invoiced, it'll stay invoiced. Okay? But we're always gonna be looking for the ones that say need review. Now, if you guys are going out and you're doing a job that has multiple categories, so let's say you're quoting for carpet and you're quoting for laminate, it will show up 2 different ones here. You'll have one for laminate and you'll have one for carpet. It will not be a combined because the labor items have to be separate, okay? Just keep that in mind. The way we're gonna get in here is I always call this the meatball menu, where there are more options. Meatball menu just tends to stick a little better. But you can click on the meatball menu and then you can click open, or you just click on the blue hyperlink. That's the fastest way to get there, but there's 2 different options. So you'll click on that blue hyperlink. Once you do that, it's gonna bring you right into the job, okay? So this is where the magic happens. This is where you guys are gonna start to build that quote, add the products, validate labor, do all of those things, okay? The easiest way you're gonna know if there's product selected, on the left-hand side in that quote type box, if you guys look down, there's 3 check marks. You have assigned customer, measurements and configurations, which means your measurement's done, and then you also have select product required. The select product required with the green check mark means there's already product selected, and a lot of times you'll see it at the very top. So this customer had this as their favorite on their account. So it automatically pulls it in, okay? but you're always gonna know if it needs it there. If there is no product selected, this is what it'll look like. So then you guys are gonna know, okay, I gotta go in, either add this product or try to help the customer quickly pick something, right? So what we don't want you to do is spending 2 hours with the customer trying to pick product. It's not the intent here, right? It's not a quick turn and burn. They already know what they want. They have a stain master. They're just trying to figure out color. Like, you guys can help them with that. But if you're gonna sit there for 35 minutes to try to pick, just, hey, we'll get this over and we'll move forward.
The other thing too is like, if you get there and the customer's like, I have no idea what I want, you're never even gonna log in.
Don't even log in.
Right.
Just
do
take the
you
measure.
do
move
measure?
on.
Not for
you
tile or not for backsplashes.
Tile and backsplash is not a part of this, correct? Or sheet vinyl.
Sheet vinyl, yes, that's correct.
But yeah, if they're like, I have no idea, they just say, come back, sir, okay. Knock your measure out like you normally would.
Yeah. And in most cases, the flooring measures, right? They're texting or calling or whatever. Hey, I'm on the way. Hey, by chance, did you ever get product selected so I can give you a quote? They're gonna make, no, I don't even know what I'm doing.
So
Okay.
no flags needed, no note of that, just move.
Yeah.
We'll just treat it as a normal measure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Underselling, we'll follow up.
Gotcha.
All right. So now we've came in, we've noticed that there is product selected. You're done. There's really nothing else in this step, right? But there is a quick video, so I'm showing you guys, remember the questions that we answered, so you can change fulfillment type. This is gonna be all of the labor that's auto-populated based off those questions that you guys answered in the measure. That's why it's so important. You cannot edit labor. You have to go into the actual measure, make modifications, come back here for it to populate, okay? The other issue with that is what we found is, and this is gonna be something you're gonna have to set expectations with your crews on when to edit and when to upload a new measure. Meaning, right, let's say the customer just removes rooms of furniture. Do you just want them to come in here and edit that? Do you want them to do a remeasure? And the reason why we say that is because a lot of the times you guys are using that initial quote to send to the installer so they know the scope, and if the scope changes here, it doesn't update your system.
Yeah, we were telling them to make sure that it's the same on both, so go
Okay.
back, edit the detail, re-upload it.
Okay, so if you guys, so basically for you, hey, if you have to make any edits in here,
Yep.
we're gonna upload a new measure,
Exactly.
and that's perfect.
That way
Because you're
it's just
using it for
totally
your-
clear.
Installers,
Correct.
and you
Yeah.
need that information to match.
Correct.
Yeah, so we don't care how, we just want the customer to have it.
Right.
If it takes you 4 quotes to get it right, it is what it is, as long as they have it before you leave. But yeah, so you'll have to set that expectation.
Right.
If they make any changes in here, you'll get it on the labor review, but you won't be able to match it against your measure. You're gonna say it wasn't sold, and then you're gonna have to call and then,
Yeah, it's gonna flag me, so we do a green, red, meaning if
Yeah.
it doesn't match up, I get a red.
yeah.
I mean, we don't want red, but I
Right.
catch it. And then-
But
Yeah,
we'll-
so you want
but
to
we'll-
set that
we'll-
with the measure text,
Yeah,
don't change anything in MRP.
Yeah, and,
Yep,
and
if something's gotta get changed, go back in, make a new version.
Unless it's product.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, of course.
Yeah. Anything labor
Exactly,
specific, yeah.
Exactly.
Yep. But yeah, they technically have the ability to come in and add quarter round labor if they wanted to, and it would show on yours.
Right.
So.
Yeah, we want to avoid any kind of that, so we told them any
Okay.
changes.
Perfect. Works for us. All right. So a couple other things just to call out here. You guys may end up getting this insufficient quantity available. Okay. That doesn't necessarily mean we don't have any or that it's a non-stock anymore. What'll end up happening is when you guys get to the invoicing or quoting part, if we don't offer that product anymore, it's going to tell you that you can't. Right. So don't let this deter you. However, if the customer's looking for a very quick turnaround, this may be one of those blockers. You just, hey, it looks like Lowe's has it, just not enough to cover your job within this area. Typically can see a little bit of a product delay if necessary, right? But if they're not in a hurry, I wouldn't even have the conversation. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yes.
But basically what it's saying is we don't have it in this area.
So
Right?
what's-
So we have to bring some in.
just a quick question, what's the turnaround? And say we get to this box, but the customer really wants this.
Mm-hmm.
Is it like a 2-week?
I wouldn't even set the expectation. I would just say, hey, after purchase, reach out to Lowe's and they might be able to expedite it. Yeah, don't even get in those conversations. Yeah. But I mean, typically it's a pretty quick turnaround as long as the next DT locally has it or within the state. And we just gotta get a truck to pick it up. Yeah, so other than that, unit price is always gonna be in there, selling price. All of your contractors will have the ability to edit these. I would say make sure they don't.
Right.
We will catch it at some point. Also, it impacts margin, can impact your guys' pay. So just
Yeah.
nothing with labor.
Yeah.
There's no way we can lock it out. Just
Okay.
don't even teach them that you could do it and you should be
Yeah.
all right.
No, yeah, we told them not to touch any of that.
All right, so now we're gonna go through the same process. This is where you guys are gonna be clicking and logging in after you search for the job. We're gonna still go through quotes. So this is gonna be one of those scenarios where the customer doesn't have any product selected, right? So there's a couple of things you'll notice initially. One of them, there is no picture. All right, the second thing you're gonna notice, I told you guys with the little arrow over there, it's not a green check mark. Okay, so in this particular example, the customer may know what they want, they just didn't have it added to their account. So if they have a sample, usually the sample has serial numbers and all of that good stuff. If they're like, yeah, I want Stainmaster Pet Protect Tan, you can type in Stainmaster Pet Protect Tan and then have them pick whatever one's on the screen, right? But the way you guys would do that is you'll actually click on that blue arrow, the down arrow, it'll open up that carpet option. And so when you click in that, it'll bring you into, for you guys to go ahead and search. So all you would do is use the item number, the model number, the serial number, whatever you have. You can freeform type, you can do whatever you want. You don't have to have an item number to search for whatever the customer wants. So if they only know by the name, you can type in the name. It'll pull up everything that's associated with that name. Does that make sense? For you guys to add it, all you do is click the green button down there at the bottom. There is no math to do. There's no square footage. It's all going to be automated. You'll click add to quote. You'll get a pop-up confirmation that says it's been added. And then when you go back to the job, you're going to see that it's in there. It's already going to have quantity set, selling price, everything. It's there. You just got to add the product to it. Okay. And then I think this is maybe another video. Yeah. So I'm just showing you some more what you can do here. So in this particular situation, you guys could edit quantities if you needed to. So I'm gonna pause this real quick.
But you don't want to, so.
Yeah, the only time you'll edit quantities is if the customer's purchasing 2 different types of carpet for 2 different rooms, right? Because the way the quote automation is gonna do is it's gonna come in, it's gonna pull linear foot typically, and it's gonna say 38 for all of it. And then you add another one in and it may give the quantity of one. So then you'll have to do a little bit of math. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Same thing with like hard surface. If the customer wants to say color match quarter round in the kitchen, but white everywhere else, it's only going to pull in the linear feet for everything. You have to kind of manually figure out, even though you measure it separately in FloorSoft, you'll have to figure out like how many sticks do I need for the kitchen, how many sticks for the rest of the house.
FloorSoft does give you the linear foot.
Yeah, so it'll be in there. So if you just manually,
I'll show you where to find that.
Yes, it will.
But then you
In
gotta
the
look
cut
at like,
sheets.
Yep.
is it 8, 12 foot sticks?
Yeah, and then you gotta make sure
Like,
is
you
it
gotta make sure.
8 foot sticks, 12, 16 foot sticks, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so just be mindful of that. Other than that, you guys really shouldn't be editing quantities.
How often is the
Outside of like
customer-
trim.
What's that?
How often, do you know a percentage of customers that already have product pre-selected, or do you see a lot?
We have attach rate. Like I said, I mean, there are stores that say 100%. It's not 100%.
Actually, never mind. Yeah,
There's
that's-
some-
We have
there's something
reporting,
in
but it's
that.
really hard to say if it's accurate or not.
I would tell you a comfortable number would be like 65% of the customers are gonna have
Yeah.
product
From what we've
selected.
seen from the other company, it's been pretty high.
Is it?
Yep.
That's good.
Well, we're also pushing a ton of emails and communications to them now to say, hey, like here's what you need. A lot of the schedulers for a lot of the other companies are, hey, we're wanting to give you a quote in the home on Tuesday the 18th. You have your product selected. If not, you're gonna need that.
So it's setting the expectation.
Everybody's
They
as
are
a
pushing
whole.
it hard though.
You may know the answer, but I'm gonna ask this question for Dave. You did say if I'm searching for product, I could type in tan carpet.
Yep.
For instance, right? Okay, because that's pretty simple to teach,
Yeah.
right? So.
No, that's really nice.
Yeah, so,
Entering projects and
Yeah, you can just type in Stainmaster and it'll pull
up.
up everything Stainmaster we
fair
have.
enough.
And I'll share like, so one of the things we tested in the past, and we're not going down this path, so don't freak out. We tested samples.
Oh,
boy.
boy.
So we were getting so many asks, they're like,
Mark.
well, I thought you'd bring samples, and you guys probably run into it too. Like,
All the time.
Listen,
and so we're not Empire Today or any of these, we're not bringing carpet to your house, but we tested it in a pilot format. One, samples are super expensive, and they're difficult to choose off of a like 2x2 square. Unless you're buying the one that's the big piece that they showed, like
Yeah.
you can't make a decision off of that. But in the first week we tested it, we did just carpet, and what we did is we said, hey, let's get our top 10 sellers, because if you look at like sales by model, like the top 10 are, there's a distinct top 10, and then like the percentages drop dramatically after that. So we basically said, hey, these are our best sellers. If any of these work for you, we can help you select today. And I think like the first week we had like 15 carpet measures with no product attached, and they sold like 13 of them.
Oh, wow.
So we're not going down the path, but what we are working on is, so any one of those carpets on .com, that customer can order a sample for $1.
Correct.
right? And they're usually shipped out pretty quickly from our fulfillment hub, so they're usually gonna get it in 2 to 3 days tops typically. They're 8x8 samples. Also on the back is like big giant sticker on there, model, color, everything that you all would need. So one, we're trying to say, hey, if a customer has a product attached, can we auto trigger a shipment to be FedEx to them with no charge of that, or if they have multiples. And to create better messaging around, hey, chances are what's gonna be beneficial for you to help make a choice is once you make sure you order samples, like, and we're trying to create some more messaging around that because, and I'll just share my personal experience, like I moved 5 times in 10 years, right? Every house I gotta put carpet in because no one's living in somebody else's carpet, so certainly not my wife and kids. But like, I don't have time to go to the store, and you would think like I'm in the stores all day, but like I'm working, like especially when I was a DM or a director, like I'm on the go, like I don't have time to go shop around like the flooring department. So I was like, told my wife, I'm like, just if you got to order 30 samples online, I don't care, order them all, have them shipped to the house, and just have one ready for when the provider comes. Like, so those 8x8s are a much better tool. So we're trying to drive a lot of automation around that to help you guys when you get out to the home, where the customer's like, oh yeah, this is the one I want. And then theoretically, on the detail, you can take a picture of the back of that, where if the customer future state says, that's not what I picked out, like, no, here it is.
They're driving the signage in the store a little bit better for that.
Yeah.
I actually learned about the program via the signage in the store visit, and it was interesting. I think it even gave the time frame 2 to 3 days, and that's the way to do it. And hopefully we run across, because if you can land them on the product, that's over half the battle. Right. So you're good with that so far?
Yes.
Yeah, good, man.
So I got another video here, going to show you guys a couple of things. I think the biggest piece is what I'm about to show you is what he was talking about, right? So any stock carpet, you guys can actually switch to SOS to have a parcel shipped to your warehouse. The only exception with that is do not do it if it's an express install. Okay? But it's really, really simple. So if you guys notice, you just click switch to SOS right here. You get a little loading screen. Now you have the parcel, and you guys can set it up as a direct delivery, switch from stock to SOS. There it is, right? So you can switch between those. It's also going to tell you in network, right? So if this is SOS, obviously it's coming out, but if I switch it to in network, it would say how many is in that store or in the network, right?
So Corey, by default, if I don't change that, the card's going to the store?
It'll be set as, no, so if you switch from stock to SOS, the SOS standard
warehouse.
setment is parcel.
Oh, I got you.
Now, if you leave it as stock, it will be pick up from the store.
That's what, okay,
Pick up
that's
later.
what I want to say,
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah, don't select a Lowe's delivery, it'll just be pick up later.
And the hard surface pickup later, is that gonna be like for the customer, or would they have to build in a delivery fee if it's installed?
You guys should be charging a delivery.
So are you guys doing your own deliveries for hard
Yes.
surface? Alright, so
Yeah.
as long as you're setting it up on the measure part of it, where you guys are going through all of that, and you have it as pick up later, you'll have the delivery.
You
You'll
guys
see the
add it
delivery
to the
fee.
measure, right?
Do I?
Are you guys putting the measure
It's on the,
in?
yeah, pretty much,
Yeah.
flag and full.
You'll see the delivery fee added to the
Don't ever rely on a customer to go pick up their own stuff.
No.
Yeah.
But the one thing that Corey will show you is with hard surfaces, when you check the box up top, the fulfillment type, it'll force fulfill everything to the same store. So you won't run into a scenario where like the quarter round went to another store
Oh,
and
that's
then
good.
like have
Now, you may have multiple deliveries, technically, but you guys are picking everything up, so it shouldn't happen to you.
it'll all force to that one.
So everything will come into that one store, you'll get the ready to schedule, and then you'll go pick it all up.
Nice.
Yeah. Yep. Alright. So once we have that added in, again, you're gonna have the insufficient quantity, don't worry about it, it's just because we're reading none in store. So it's gonna tell you that every time. Alright, so that's adding main product. Questions, thoughts?
That's one of my favorite things about adding products into FloorSoft was terrible.
Yeah.
So it's pretty
We make it
exciting.
way
You
easier.
just
You just
pick
click
it,
add a
show
button.
them what, that's
Yep.
the one you want? Alright, perfect.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, 'cause
Turn your screen around.
Yeah.
we were
blow it up
The
real
only thing you'll
big.
have to do in FloorSoft though is still, if it's a pattern carpet, they're still gonna have to
Yes,
put
you
the
would have to
pattern
put
in
that
there.
in if that were the case.
Yeah.
You just do the
But
pattern match labor,
Yeah.
and then make sure you got a pattern match carpet.
Like for a hard surface, right? Let's say the customer says, "Hey, I want all new baseboards," right? And typically you would put customer to select, right? Which then it would go back to central selling. Then central selling would have to describe over the phone like what they're trying to like. No, like, we were on a measure where the customer had a very non-typical baseboard. So I literally went on the app and I was just scrolling through till I found the profile, I got the item number, and we just punched that in. So we're able to get everything properly selected at the time of measure.
Yeah, even with like AI on your phones now, you can just do like the picture and then you Google search it. It'll pop up and tell you like what item it is for Lowe's just by taking a picture of it. It shouldn't take long at all. Yeah, so that's attaching main product. So what we're gonna go through now, and I gotta say we came a long freaking ways with this. We used to have to like have people log into a molding matrix and manually search for item numbers and then copy and paste and make sure we had them in .com. It was chaos. So one of the big things that they've done is a lot of quote automation for hard services. Now, we're not there yet, but a lot of the things that we had pain points and issues with, not only from a selling issue from central selling, but also from the providers and getting you guys in and out, is the ability to quickly find moldings and quarter rounds and baseboards and all of that. So we have some automation. I'll show you guys what this looks like, but it's been a huge win, right? So be on the lookout for additional communications coming down the pipeline. We're already working on something that's gonna give you guys a view. If there is a promo, it tells you exactly how much the promo price is and what the customer's getting off on in projects. So you can just turn your screen around and show them, you know, the discounts and all of that good stuff. So there's a lot of things that are happening that'll continue to evolve this process. Our goal at the end is for you guys just to pop in, validate everything's attached and send it. Like not even have to add product anymore unless there's something.
Yeah, because
big.
today when you generated an MRV, the whatever promotional price is coming up, but it's not showing the value to the customer. So unless they remember what the retail was, or like you go into Lowe's.com and look at it doesn't show that. So those are one of the enhancements that'll be real simple. Like, yeah, here, look at this was $6,000, now it's $4,500 or whatever.
Right.
So the big one you guys are gonna see here is once you have the product selected, right? So we've already went through selecting the product. If you guys come over here, you're gonna have a couple of different drop downs. One of them is gonna be add compatible items. So if you click this little arrow, it'll open this up. So this is gonna be all of your color matching options. So you got your quarter round, you got your transitions, you got your 4-in-1s, you got your stair nose. It's even gonna have the recommended underlayment from the manufacturer. Now, call out to this is it's not area specific, right? This is just a generic manufacturer recommends, boom,
That's
right? So if you guys have a certain product or whatever you are that you're using, you may have to come in and edit that, right? But it does have all of those items, and then there's a little scroll button. If you keep hitting over, it's going to take you through white and then baseboard and all of these items. You also have the ability to just, instead of looking at all, you can go flooring, mold and trim, and then also underlayment. So you can actually separate them out. So the way you guys are going to do that, you'll just click add item based off the measurements and the questions you answered in the measure. It's going to auto populate quantities. That's going to be underlayment and
like-
So you
everything.
don't have to pick it.
Yeah,
Right.
and most of the time it's gonna pull in like the Pergo Gold and that type of stuff, and so that's where, you know, for an example, if the spec says pads attached, like, we want the best pad, but if they don't want the pad, and you know the pads are attached, and out here I imagine you have a lot of slab,
So,
right?
yeah,
So
for
you
sure.
would just need a vapor barrier, so that's where the tech can kind of say, you know what, like, if you didn't want, like, there's things that come with the getting pad, you have additional cushion, that type of stuff, but some of your cheaper product, the manufacturer likes to say, don't do pad.
Yeah.
So we need to get down to that kind of granular level with product attributes, but we're not there yet.
So there is, like when you scroll down the underlayment, the mill plastic.
Yeah, you can get the plastics there.
Well, I'll show you all of that in the live demo.
Yeah, this is just slideshow.
But like most of your techs probably know, like, what's the right one to sell.
Yep.
And we don't want quote creep, like, we don't wanna sell stuff we don't need to sell. But like, understanding of why would I put, like, if you're putting down like, pretty much all the Pergo product, Pergo says put down the Pergo Gold, like,
Mhm.
cause they wanna sell more Pergo
They
Gold.
want it to be-
But
Yeah.
it's also rated for it because it's thick enough, it's got enough mill thickness that the panels aren't gonna flex. You get down some of that like Project Source or real thin, brittle stuff, it's not designed to have that additional movement. And so in those cases, you would either put the really thin pad or vapor barrier if it's pad attached. But we'll get to that point in, you know, automation at a future state.
So the hard surface is not completely automated yet.
Not completely.
It's like 60%. Your quarter rounds and transitions, all that stuff should pull all it in.
Okay.
What you have to do you're not going to do really any math unless there's just something wonky happening with like stairs or something like that. For the most part though, what's not automated is manually selecting the product. The quantities and everything will be automated.
Yeah, like for example, if, you know, when we play around with the measure, you'll see like It'll pull in the quarter round, it'll pull in, transitions, that type of stuff. Stairs are not automated, so you guys still, it'll pull in like some of the risers depending on them, or the stair edging. It'll pull in underlayment, you know, quarter rounds, but again, if quarter rounds are two different colors, you gotta manually do that math. If the customer says, hey, pad's already attached, just put a paper barrier, you have to change that out. So, there's still some manual like looking at it.
And then anytime if you guys accidentally make an oopsies, you gotta remove something that's an item wise, if you just click this remove button, it'll pull right off. Alright,
Do you guys reset toilets here?
No.
so this is just giving you another example. In this particular one, we were up there, we looked through the compatible items, we selected the items, and you guys can see how the quantities are gonna automatically populate. The reason why we have one quantity for the stair nose is because there was no stairs. Right, so that could be another way too, if you're looking at quantities and it's saying one, you likely missed the question in most cases, unless it's like under a small job, so.
Yeah, because if there's no stairs in the same quantity one, there's no reason to have one.
You got it, right, so, you know, depending on the product, that could be a really good flag for people to go back and take a look, especially when they first start. But yeah, all the quantities to the point that Jason just made, everything's gonna be pre-populated for them. This used to be the molding matrix we gotta go to, I just like to keep it in here. So you would actually, they'd save this link for all three of them, depending on what it is, they'd click into the link and bring them into this, they'd have to select the item number of the product, define all the moldings.
Oh,
And then take this molding and take it back to yeah, it's chaos.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
That's what we first started with.
Yeah, you'd had a lot of,
You cleaned that up a lot.
We've cleaned it up a lot. I like to keep it in here because technically you could still use it if you need to. Like if there's just some weird item that you're trying to look for and you just can't find it on .com, it could be helpful, but nobody usually uses it. So again, if for some reason in the compatible items it's not in there, let's say the customer just wants some off the wall colored quarter round that we offer pre-stained or something stupid, you guys can come in, add in the item number manually like we looked at. So you'll be able to look up anything manually. Where's my mouse at?
And you can technically add a tractor to it, it ain't gonna stop you, just don't do that.
Yeah, don't add any tractors. Anyhow, over here, so this is gonna be your main product, this is the required product, so this is gonna be your additional stuff. You're gonna have all of these different options that'll take you. So if you click into this, it'll bring you into all the transitions. If you click into this, it's gonna take you to all of our baseboard moldings. And then if you're looking up anything that doesn't flow into here, maybe you just wanna do all of them at one time instead of having to go back and forth. If you click on item lookup, this is gonna be the entire inventory for those. So then you can just freeform item number, baseboard, 4.25 inch baseboard, it's just gonna pop it all up, guys. Okay, so there's a couple of different ways you can search. We're gonna do a lot of that and
what's the,
Do you have individuals selling tax strips on the jobs?
no,
Okay.
Tax strips are included
That's
in the labor.
in the scope, yeah.
so
Correct.
just for a baseboard question, does Lowe's sell a 10-inch baseboard?
10-inch tall?
Tall?
I don't know, we can keep that in thought and we'll look.
A 1x10.
Yeah, 1 by 10.
I mean, there's a lot of custom homes have 10-inch baseboards,
Yeah,
8-inch to 10-inch baseboards.
They usually do some stacking too. We'll look. Keep that in mind. But yeah, so once you guys manually search, it's gonna pop it up here. If there's more than one option, you're gonna have a view options. If you click into view options, it's gonna give you all of your different options. So think about carpet that has a bunch of different colors, right? You're gonna have more options. You click into it, there's already colors. Once you guys do that, you're gonna add this. I gotta remove this arrow. Everything should auto-populate. You'll click add to quote. You'll get the quote confirmation button. That's gonna pop up at the bottom. And then when you guys go over to the quote, you're gonna see it.
Just another quick question about that, because I know we're in the high-end, there's a lot of high-end areas around here. There's a lot of high-end areas where I live close to Savannah and stuff like that in Georgia. Do we do a stacking of baseboard? Like, say, you have the 1x and then stack the trim on the top?
If it's,
I mean,
so, it's not, if we do the options in Forsolve, so if it's turned on, it's probably gonna be the question.
yeah, that's
Um,
another question.
I don't know that I've seen that, Bob.
I haven't seen that.
Now, that could be because the option's not turned on, right? Sometimes when you don't see something, it doesn't mean they don't. So I have to look into that, buddy.
I don't believe it's in there.
Yeah.
But if there's a lot of
Would it work
demand,
if you were to add
We can add
baseboard
it.
and quarter round?
So, yeah, so I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but I've been down here 10 years and I've never installed one like that. Not saying when you ran across it, but that's from the orange side too. So I don't know that that's a norm, but there may be that Bobby out there, right? And I wanna offer anything they
I've,
can.
I've
I
seen
do
it in
custom
homes,
homes
but never
too,
seen a
so-
customer
Yeah.
ask for it.
Yeah,
If there's a Lowe's item number and you don't have a labor category for it, so.
And Lowe's is my jam, you know?
We love that. We love that. That's a good question though. We'll look for 10-inch baseboard here in just a minute though. All right, so now we've got everything added. So this is the process you guys would have to do for each individual item. So underalignment, caulk if you need it, whatever, right? Once you guys get done, we're gonna take you through now the 2 different steps to invoicing versus sharing. Okay, and this is a very critical step, so you gotta make sure your guys fully understand what's happening here. So if the customer is gonna purchase that day, we're gonna invoice the quote. Or if they're gonna purchase the next day, hey, I gotta talk to my husband, make sure it's okay with him on the amount, or vice versa, I gotta talk to the wife, make sure she's good with the amount, I'm gonna pay tomorrow. We are gonna invoice it, because what invoicing allows you to do is for them to pay over the phone, okay? So we need to figure out if the customer is gonna pay, because if they are not gonna pay, then all we're gonna do is share it, right? And the reason why we need to know that is because once you invoice a quote, you cannot edit it anymore. Which means we'd have to generate a whole new quote, which needs a whole new measure and all of that good stuff.
Yeah, which
And you
means
don't wanna share that invoice because the link expires and they can't get to the
Yes.
invoicing, so that
So
creates
now,
an issue.
another-
Yeah, so if you share first and then you come back and invoice, the email they get is only one time. So the email they're gonna receive is the one that does not have the link for them to pay.
Right.
And so they won't have a link to put the credit card in, which is not the end of the world. Central Selling is gonna follow with them an hour later, right? But just understand, are they paying? Yes, invoice. If they're not paying, just share, okay? Don't share and then invoice. It's one or the other, okay? So we're gonna take you through invoicing first. So at this point in time, we have everything built. We got the whole quote ready to go. The way we're gonna get there is we're gonna click on View and Project over in the bottom left-hand corner. That's gonna pull up this update quote status. So this is where we're gonna take it from needs review to open, right? So open tells us it's been touched, probably been shared, right? So once we do that, we'll click Save and Submit. Now you guys notice it goes from needs review to open, okay? For us to be able to invoice this, we will, find my
Can you go back to that screen?
marker here. You guys are gonna click right here in this circle on anything that is an open status, okay? Once you click this circle, you're gonna come over here and click Begin Checkout. That's gonna start the checkout phase of invoicing this for that customer, okay? So then what we're gonna do is you're gonna go ahead and validate the delivery address. So this is carpet, it'll come to you guys. If not, the rest will be the store. Then you'll click Next. This is gonna be a copy of the estimate that the customer is gonna receive. And it's also gonna include the estimated points that it's gonna add to their Milo's Warp for their bonus bucks and their,
And the next update will have all your promos in there as well.
yep. And then we'll have promos so they can see exactly how much they're saving on each item, basically. All right, so from there, once you guys hit submit, you would share it, go back, and then you would share it with the link, and then allow them to pay, which I'm gonna show you in just a minute. But what I have in here, this is what the actual email is gonna look like. And so this is why it's important to invoice, then share, not share, then invoice. Because if you share, then invoice, their link won't have this. All it's gonna have is a way for them to get into their installation agreement to see their quote. Does that make sense?
It's,
But this is an exact copy of what the email is going to look like. So if they're going to get an email, they'll get a text as soon as you click it. If you have service and you click invoice, it's instantaneous. They'll get an email, looks like this, the text will say the same thing, they'll click into a quote, it'll bring them into this, and then they can add their credit card. All right? So now we're just gonna share a quote. There's just some best practices in here. Most of what I talked about was you guys making sure you invoice and share, don't share, then invoice. This is the big thing. All right, so from here, again, same process. To share, you'd go to View and Project if you're already in there. You'll change it to Open. And now at this point, we either have it invoiced or it's open, meaning we didn't invoice it. Either way, you're still gonna come to this meatball menu, there are more options, and you're gonna click Share. Once you click Share on one of these two, it's gonna show up all of the quotes you have available to share. And then you'll just click this little toggle. Once you click this toggle, they'll get that text message that goes ding, and then they have it and you're on your way.
Can you share more than one at a time?
You can, so you can share all of these. So let's say
In
we
the
have,
box that shows
let's
up.
say in this particular example, we have carpet and we have laminate.
Mhm.
And you gotta get them both quotes, you would share both quotes, they would get one email, and attached to that email would be both quotes.
Got it.
Status change from open to shared.
If we invoice it, it'll say to invoice. It'll say open if you share it.
It'll stay in.
Because it's not, basically we can make edits.
And you can, and Corey will show when we're in the tool, mess around, you can change the name, so like as an example, if a customer says, hey, can you quote both colors? And then share them with me or whatever,
Yeah.
like, so maybe there's two quotes in there. Sometimes relabeling it, like, so it's easy for the customer to know which one's what, so they, when central selling calls, they're like, you know, it's not the Lupton dash carpet dash, like, no, it's the one that's, you know, this color, so like it matches up to
Yeah,
their
this color
sample.
for my living room and dining
Yeah.
room.
Yeah.
Just something simple for them, not to reduce confusion between central selling and the customer, like, if there's two potential orders that could be invoiced, which one is the right one?
Yeah, you could say red carpet and green carpet.
Yeah.
I'll show you how to edit all that.
Gotcha.
Yeah. All right, and then once we have it either shared or invoiced, the last step would be documenting the quote. So this is basically where you guys are gonna get credit, and you're gonna let you're gonna let central selling know what the next steps are. Okay, if they purchase while you're there, no reason for it, because it's never gonna flow. We're gonna capture that you guys sold it in home, right? If they don't purchase before you leave, you gotta document every single time, even if they're gonna follow up and pay tomorrow, right? So your note would be, spoke with Mrs. Jones, she's gonna get with Mr. Jones, planning on paying tomorrow. Invoice quote, whatever, because then central selling is gonna know, okay, one, I don't have to call this customer an hour after I get it, but number two, I need to follow up with that customer tomorrow if they haven't paid, right? As to just leaving it, then they're gonna call that customer and be like, I just told him, I had to talk to my husband, why are you
We don't,
calling me,
yeah, we
right?
don't want the customer to feel like there's a disconnect initially between the provider
We
and
don't want
Lowe's.
That's the worst.
We don't wanna feel like a hard
Yeah.
sell, like.
Yep, you got it. So what we're gonna have to do is document it, and it's one way every single time. So it's that repetitiveness, as you guys see. So once we get into here, normally you'll be in the quotes, right? So here's my little mouse. Normally you guys will be right here. So what you're gonna do is click on project summary, and it's gonna look something like this. Okay. Over here in the interactions box, you guys will come and click this add interaction. And what that does is it pops up a series of drop downs for you guys. There's 6 in total. Okay. The drop downs are always the same. So the first thing you guys are going to select is whatever quote or labor category you're working, right? Then you're always going to select in-home selling consultation every single time, right? Because this is where we're going to be able to diagnose the credit to you guys as well in some of the reporting we're doing. So always make sure you select that. And then you're going to say we either presented it or it wasn't presented, right? Now, if for some reason it wasn't presented and you need to add in some follow-up, then I would definitely make sure we have that information. But if you show up and the customer's just not ready for product, you're not even gonna open my red vest, so don't worry about it,
Right.
right? I would just say if you're in here and for some reason you go to try to build it, you run into technical issues, whatever it is, hey, customer has item number selected, blah, 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 ran into technical issues, looking for Lowe's to caller, whatever, right? But in most cases, when you guys are putting follow-ups, it's gonna be that you presented the quote, right? 70% of the time it's a goal, remember that. So 70% of the time, that's what you're selecting.
So would that be more for like, it's a vacant home? You just go in and measure, but they already have it selected and everything? Would you select that?
Yeah, and you would just put presented, but I would put note in there, home was vacant.
Yeah.
Customer had
Mhm.
pre-selected product, you know, verified before
Shared
purchase
quote.
or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so from there, it'll open up another series of options. So basically the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna set whatever action it is. Do we need a follow-up? Was a quote sold? So on and so forth. So in most cases, you guys are gonna do a follow-up required. Okay, and this is where central selling is gonna be able to come in and see what the follow-up is. So you select follow-up required, then it gives you another option. You guys can select any of these. And then you're gonna have your text box of, I think, 300 character limit. So it doesn't have to be a novel, it doesn't have to be anything extra. Just get the pertinent information. The thing the central selling needs to know is what happened when you were there and what do I need to do next.
Yeah, there's no guarantee they'll read it either,
This
just
is
for the
newer.
record.
Yeah, there's no guarantee they'll read it, but
This is newer, right?
this used to be at the very beginning.
Okay, because I know,
Now we've pushed it to the end, and these options are different too.
okay,
That's one of the enhancements we did. Because
That's
before we
an
wanted you
update
to.
We got a couple weeks ago from
Yeah,
somebody else.
yeah, because before you guys were in the home and Central Selling was calling them as you
Yeah.
were building it, and so now we have that hour time frame in it. It's going to give you enough time to build it and then have the follow up.
Yeah, we were initially having you log an interaction and put like, change the name to like the company, the flooring measure company, and like, so if Central Selling did see it, they know like, hey, they're still quoting in the home, because they were literally calling, well, we're,
Yeah.
like, you're all
Oh,
still in
wow.
there, so now that we've automated the 1 hour delay, there's no need for that.
Okay.
You're just at the end of when you're doing it, and I will tell you, that's probably one of the more commonly missed things, because the providers like, the measure tech's like, oh, good, everything's good, and then they close out, and they forget to finish that interaction after they've either invoiced or shared it.
And I think that's what was happening at first.
Yeah, we're building out
When we went to- When
reporting.
y'all went to the back end of
Yep.
it, I know a couple of my guys they weren't hitting that last step. They were like, okay, the customer's good, they didn't wanna buy it, or they wanna buy it, well, let's share it.
And they left.
And we're
And then
out.
left, yeah. And then Central Selling was like, hey, the provider's there with you, just trying to figure out what next steps were. And they're like, well, I told them not to call me until 3 weeks from now. I'm not home, whatever, right?
Yeah.
So now that customer's like, they can't even get my damn quote right. I ain't shopping with them, right? So it's really important. But what'll happen is once you guys set it, this is what it looks like.
Yeah.
And so you'll be able to validate once you save it that it's in there and ready to go. And then from there, now you're done. You're off and moving to the next one.
And it
All
seems
right.
like a long process sitting here, but it actually
It's
runs
really
a lot
not.
smoother.
After a couple days of doing this, like,
That's the thing you got to get into our head. This is second nature.
All right, so if you want to hook up to yours, what I would need from you guys